What are some long-form video topics you've worked on and then abandoned, and why? So, like a few weeks ago, MrBeast, on his site called View Stats, had a premium subscription costing, I think, like some exorbitant fee, like $80 a month, where he provided AI thumbnails and sort of automated guidance on which videos would be popular. So you could like figure out, what's doing well right now in the algorithm and try to copy that. And I had this idea that I would make a YouTube channel based solely on the MrBeast View Stats guidance, using only their thumbnails, and see how well it worked. Like, I actually started doing this. I have a channel called Bongus, where I release like 2 or 3 videos, like reacting to America's Funniest Home Videos and getting involved in YouTube drama that View Stats kind of recommended, all with their thumbnails, their crazy AI thumbnails. And you can go watch those videos. I mean, it would have been one of the funniest things I think ever done on my YouTube channel.
That's the yeast of my concerns.
In this scene, it seems as though Peter started the morning off right by laying directly into a bread loaf. Looking at this sort of thing, one has to ask a few questions, such as how did he get into the loaf? Did he cut holes in it? Did he bake himself into the bread, and therefore have to endure the scorching hot oven? In the end, it just doesn't matter much. Family Guy is always going for crazier and crazier gags, and this is just one of 5 examples.
But MrBeast just had to cave to public pressure and get rid of the AI thumbnails off of the website because everyone was thinking that they were shitty and that it was bad, so now I don't get to make my video. I'm sorry, people in your audience actually gave you money to oil up your little ass? That's disgusting. Hi, Large Joel. I have another question, which is also in the form of a hypothetical. If you had the ability to summon a small horde of goblins, what kinds of antics would you get up to with this new ability? Oh, brother. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to give you some fake controversial answer. I'm not going to say that I would get up to any nastiness with them just because I know that that's what you want to hear. I think I would take them to the lanes. I think we'd bowl. I think it would be a good time. I think we could share an afternoon at the lanes. Hey BJ, I really enjoyed your Fear of Death video. In fact, I think it's my favorite video on YouTube. I've watched it like 10 times. My question is, are you still running every day? If not, how much were you running toward the end? I'm curious if your perspective remains the same over a year later. I'm not still running every day, and I don't know the answer to the question of how much I was running toward the end. Soon after I made that video, I stopped that habit. I still do exercise. I exercise almost every day. I lift, I do resistance training, whatever. But even when it comes to that, I am starting to feel the ground shake beneath my feet. Yesterday, in fact, was the first time in recent memory that I just didn't exercise because I didn't want to. I don't often do that. I just woke up too late and I wasn't in the mood and I didn't exercise and basically I broke like a year plus streak of following my fitness goals. You know what I mean? It's really hard to develop new skills, isn't it? It's really hard to become a different kind of person. It often feels to me like, we were just handed a deck at birth and we were just kind of playing it out. You know what I mean? Because man, oh man, is it hard to really commit yourself to changing and for those changes to really feel profound. But I try and I'll get back to that gym. I'll do it. Why was that so depressing? My 12-year-old nephew asks, which video have you made in your life that brings you the most shame and do you regret it? It's a difficult answer to give. I'm not a big, huge fan of the video I made about Shoe on Head and bestiality. The reason being, I just think, why did I do that? Like when I look back at that video, I think, why did I talk about that there tweet? And why did I talk about Shoe on Head? You know what I mean? Like it's like none of it adds up to me anymore. I would have never made that video today, which is a bit sad because I get the impression it's actually a bit of a fan favorite among my audience. Maybe something is broken in me today that was fixed then. And that's why I wouldn't make that video today. But when I look back on it, I just feel like it's a bit cringe. But I'm not so ashamed of it in that way. I mean, it's not like I would ever take it off of my YouTube channel or something crazy like that. Who's your favorite Peanuts character? Thanks. Linus. Easy sort of pick. Linus is a cute little guy. So, and I think that that's not a very controversial answer. I think when you ask Peanuts heads, who's your favorite character? It's got to be Linus. My secret answer, honestly, and I was just bullshitting you, to make a good impression, but my secret answer is I like Charlie Brown. Like I love whenever Charlie Brown's like the focus of a comic and we don't have to deal with Snoopy or whoever else, when it's just Charlie Brown sort of sitting at a lake thinking like my life ain't going so good. I love it. Will you ever make a Big Joel retrospect? Would something like that interest you? It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine making a video where I go over my own career. I don't think I've had enough of a career to go over it in a retrospect, but perhaps if I ended up interviewing the president or a serial killer, I would deem myself worthy of a retrospective of my own creation. But for the time being, no, I don't think I'll be doing that, unfortunately. What country would you most want to live in if you had to move? Well, I try to practice French every day. I take French lessons twice a week, so I guess France. But even then, as with the fitness thing, I don't speak French. Like, you could never think that I spoke French. Just like I'm not buff. But nevertheless, the reason why I wanted to learn French is because I love French food and French people and French art and French movies. And because Paris is such a beautiful city. And so that's probably where I'd end up going. You seemingly like some of the movies of Disney's Zombies franchise. I do too. So I was wondering, did you watch Zombies 4 yet? And what did you think? Disappointing or good? Disappointing because it was obviously a setup for a spin-off set of children that I don't care about. I'm not following the series through the new characters. I'm only interested in Zed, man. I'm not interested in... I want to watch Addison. I want to watch Zed. I don't want to watch the new two kids who do whatever. I'm not interested. You can't just make me be interested in a wholly unrelated movie that has nothing to do with zombies. It also is a pretty boring movie, and it has less dynamic or interesting songs than the first three, in my opinion. But if you liked it, then I hope that I didn't take that from you. What are your favorite musicals? Sondheim and non-Sondheim. Okay, so Sondheim, I think I might have to go with Sweeney Todd. But only if Angela Lansbury's in it. Only the movie with Angela Lansbury in it. I'm not interested in other Sweeney Todds. I'm not interested in any kind of revival. I've been burnt too many times. I just want to watch Dearest Angela. And that's my opinion. The Mrs. Lovett was made for Angela Lansbury. There's nobody else who can compete. Nobody else should try. I actually think it should be illegal to try. As far as non-Sondheim musicals, Jesus Christ Superstar, man. We gotta cut through the bullshit, and I gotta tell you the truth. It's gotta be JC Soupy. What did you want to be when you grew up? So the answer is, I wanted to be some kind of a writer. I wanted to write stories or comedy sketches or whatever. I just wanted to write. This is kind of what I mean by we sort of are dealt a hand at birth and then we just play it out. I felt like my life was on a track to write things, and then I just kept doing that. But I always wanted to be a writer, and my teachers always were very encouraging of my writing, which was a real kindness. Obligatory thoughts on South Park Trump ep question. I thought them going for the classic tiny dick joke was dumb as hell. So I'll be honest, I actually really I'm enjoying the South Park episodes about Donald Trump and everything. Like, I think it's funny that they're going for such direct, almost meaningless satire. Like, they're just saying like Donald Trump is a stinky fucking guy and we don't like him and he sucks ass. He's gay. I mean, he's Saddam Hussein. He's having sex with Satan. We just don't like him and he has a little penis. But now that you ask the question and you really bring my attention more directly to the question of whether I support tiny dick jokes, I'm thinking, maybe that's in poor taste. Maybe we shouldn't make those kinds of jokes as much as we do as a society. And I'm actually genuinely very open to that thought. You know, something I was very interested in a few years ago was like r/small penis, where men with small penises sort of consult with each other and talk about their issues. And I really think that it's such a difficult thing for people. It seems like it's a really profound kind of problem. People are very emotionally tried by having a small penis, and it's not the sort of thing that people get to talk about in public. I mean, there's such an unbelievable kind of profound stigma to saying that you have a small little penis, and I think that is sad. And I think that maybe we should think more critically about that. You know, I'm not discarding that idea. I don't know though. I did enjoy those that South Park episode. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, I suppose. My girlfriend asks, "Who's your favorite little guy?" Kirby is my favorite little guy. Kirby is actually my favorite little guy. My question: do you have a favorite Emily Dickinson poem? And I do, actually, and I'll read it to you now. I even copy and pasted it so that I could read it to you now. My life closed twice before it's closed. It yet remains to see if immortality unveil a third event to me. So huge, so hopeless to conceive as these that twice befell. Parting is all we know of heaven and all we need of hell. It's hard to explain what I find so hypnotizing about this Emily Dickinson poem. I guess that's kind of the nature of all of her work, isn't it? Just being weirdly hypnotizing. But for me, the opening line, "My life closed twice before it's closed," is just so evocative. And for me, that choice of number, twice, two, it closed twice before it's closed, is just so cool. You know, there's something so real about almost dying twice in your life. It's not 3 times, it's not once, but there were 2 times, man, that I got pretty close to the edge. And I'm still thinking about him. That's what this poem's about. Emily Dickinson saying, I almost died. And twice. It wasn't just once, it was twice. And I'm still thinking about it. What are your favorite and least favorite cities and why? I don't want to say least favorite cities. You know, I don't want to make anyone. It's actually not that I have an answer and I'm not willing to say. I don't have like a list mentally of least favorite cities, or do I? No, I don't. I don't. I've liked every city I've ever been to, and I think it's because similar cities are pretty fun universally and good to be in. Favorite cities though, you know, Tokyo, Hiroshima, Paris. What kind of stuff do you ask for when your birthday is coming up? Nintendo Switch 2, please. Apologies if you've already answered this. What is your favorite play? Bonus, what is your favorite piece of adaptational media? Thank you. Man, I don't want to be like a stock character, but my favorite play has got to be Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I mean, it's just so good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so good. You really can't take anything away from it. There's also a great Edward Albee play called like The Goat or Sylvia. I forget. I don't think that's the title, but I'll put the title on screen. Anyway, it's about a man who like falls in love with his pet goat, and it's so good. Also, I recently saw Three Sisters for the first time, the Chekhov play, and it's so good. I mean, wow. And then also, I recently saw Hamlet with, what's his name? The guy from Sherlock. Moriarty, I forget his name, and it's so good. I even talked about it on Little Joel. It's so fucking good. Do you ever find it frustrating responding to arguments that are excessively cruel or hateful? You always appear very collected and informed in your videos, and I'm curious if you've ever felt the urge to just tell a particularly awful conservative to fuck off or something. You know, some part of me envies the mental space this question comes from, because it sort of speaks to a more passionate and righteous character than I think I am. No, I'm actually not. When I'm going over conservative media, I'm actually just not mad. I know that that's disappointing, but I don't have this kind of like visceral, emotional reaction to like offensive or politically retrograde stuff. You know, I'm sure that's a function of my privilege, if nothing else, but really it's because it's my job, right? And I like thinking about things critically, and I like working with this material. And so when I see something that's particularly interesting in a bad way, you know, I think good. I get to write something. You know, I'm not saying that I'm in support of things being bad. I like to think that I'm in support of things being good. But within the context of me making my work, I am interested in bad stuff, and so I'm not disappointed to see it, which is sort of, I think, kind of sad in a way. But no, I don't have this that squirmy gut feeling that you get sometimes when you're talking to some conservative asshole that I get when I'm speaking to real life conservative assholes. That's not there for me when I'm watching videos and writing about them. You know, it's much more detached and boring, unfortunately. Will you ever post more of your flash fiction on Little Joel? I really liked Anti-Dog and Old House. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I released on my main channel, You Are Into Mousetrap YouTube, and I told myself that if it did well enough, that I'd force myself to write a book of short stories. In particular, the number 500,000 was in my head as like, that would be doing very well for a 9-minute short story on youtube.com, right? And currently that video is sitting at, I think, 490,000 views. And I'm afraid, I don't really want to write a book of short stories. So I don't really know what I would write about. Will I ever post more flash fiction on Little Joel? You'd be surprised by how little I write of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not so creative. I just don't come up with many good ideas. Do you get recognized a lot when you travel? I get recognized sometimes when I travel. You know, and there's, you know, it's not usually by the locals, right? Like, I have very few Japanese fans, like Japanese from Japan fans, because they speak Japanese and they don't speak that good English mostly. But so when I'm in Japan, though, you know, every once in a while, some American guy will come up and say hi, and that happens in many countries around the world. Like, I'm often recognized once or twice by somebody from the country, but it's much more common to be recognized by an American or British tourist, which is great. You know, it's all good. I'm always happy to say hey. Say hey if you see me. Nobody's ever written about how hard that's been for them, and that's a great joy of my life. All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate the questions. If you want to ask me a question for another 2 months, or if you want access to my bonus videos, go over to my Patreon. And thank you for your time. Can I just say one other thing? When I was making my MrBeast AI website related video, one of the videos I made was about the drama slop YouTuber named Rith, because that's what the machine kind of recommended I talk about. And when I made the video, and it was really bad and it's really stupid. Let's jump into this slop and see if we get dirty too.
All right, bro, let's find out who's the worst copycat. World's strongest slap. Audience, does this guy normally look like he's a professional diaper shitter?
Does this guy normally look like a professional diaper shitter? Dude, shut up.
Dude's about to slap the fucking Crohn's disease out of his ass.
Crohn's disease is an actual illness. It's not just something to laugh about. And also, just because you have Crohn's disease doesn't mean that you have to shit in diapers. Like, that's so stupid. I released it and woke up the next morning, and I had like 50 comments from like Rith fans who were like really, really mad at me about my Rith takes and who thought I was fucking stupid. But I had like 2,000 views or something crazy like that. So, you know, props to MBeast. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, dude.